Seldom do we expect learning to be painful. Some of us may find it difficult, boring, educational, delightful, but whether it's by lack of preparation or blissful longing to the contrary, human beings struggle to process learning when it happens to us through painful situations, even when such situations may continue throughout our lives as we attempt to draw insight through the grief, the shame, the anger, and the humiliation that accompany them. I, for one, had a defining moment of humiliation when I befriended, begrudgingly, a fellow human being who happened to be gay. In doing so, I challenged a series of long-held beliefs that had gone 18 years unquestioned, but eventually discovered that if I wanted to grow as a human being, that I would need to continue challenging these beliefs and expanding my perspective, no matter how difficult or painful the outcome may be. A quick background of these beliefs: they were forged in a predominantly white Christian family in a town that was lacking in ethnic and social cultural diversity, and therefore there was a lack of any point of view that was contradicting to what I had been raised to believe. Well, I'd like to state that there's no shame, there's nothing wrong, and I'm not attacking a religion of any kind, nor am I trying to paint a pejorative picture of any ethnicity. I'm simply stating that it's something we could probably all agree on, that any religion or point of view can be taken far enough to cause harm to others and make bad decisions. While that was the core founding of my childhood, I'd like to continue on to 2007 when I turned 18 and gained my first full-time job. This is where I met Tom Makowitz. Tom was a 38-year-old high school substitute teacher who would later go on to teach high school in Thailand and the Middle East. A few words could be used to describe Tom. Nowadays, I'd use that he was a good person with noble pursuits. He was friendly and outgoing and congenial with everyone he met. However, at the time, the only thing I cared about Tom was that he was gay, and his non-conforming sexual orientation gave me privilege to treat him in a condescending manner, to act snide, and to antagonize him at any opportunity I could find without ever expressly stating my points of view or why I felt this way. Fortunately for me, however, Tom, by personality and age experience, was able to deal with me without reciprocating the ill will, and as a result, I grew to know him and became his friend. During the time, however, I learned that there was a contradiction forming between the way I was encouraged to view gay people versus the way I was encouraged to view everyone else, and this contradiction grew until I could no longer hide from the fact that what I had done was wrong. The problem was no longer with Tom. The problem was with what I allowed my beliefs to do, and that was treat another human being unfairly for no other reason than he was different than I was. It was a difficult lesson to learn. It was painful because it contradicted who I was, who I thought I was, I should say, how I was raised, and on top of everything else, it meant I as an 18-year-old, had to do the hardest thing in the world, which was admit that I was wrong. However, I wanted to pull a lesson out of this. I wanted to make sure that I would never again treat another human being as unfairly. I never wanted to be as bad as a person as I was to Tom. And so I used the shame and the humility I felt to motivate myself to question the beliefs that had caused me to treat another human being in such a way. And I continue to do so to this day, and though I feel like I'm a better person, it is only because I learned this lesson through pain, shame, guilt, and humility. I'd like to end on one final sentiment, that I believe all human beings will continue to go through learning experiences of all sorts of difficulties throughout the rest of our lives, and we should continue to celebrate and enjoy overcoming difficulties and learning our strengths. But we should never forget the importance of learning our weaknesses. We owe it to ourselves and to others, as I learned through trial and error, that we should possess beliefs that encourage us to be better people, not worse.